Today we're going to be learning Thickfreakness by the Black Keys. This song is in the key of A, which at the 5th position would be in a box which looks like... But it's basically mostly played off of the open position here from the A string. Difference here, where everything moves up a fret. And that's the position we'll mostly be playing in. And the chords are just the same as 12-bar blues, basically. It's not a 12-bar blues, but same chords. Is the 1 chord, is the A, the 4 chord, is the D, and the 5 chord is the E. And if you listen carefully to the song and just try and fit those chords in, you'll see how the different parts that Dan plays fit over those chords. So the first part you'll probably find recognizable are those intro notes, which are basically these ones. Except in this case, you don't play them here. You play them in the 5th position. Because it's just easier to do hammer-ons and stuff down here. There's probably some variations on how to play this, but I basically quickly hammer on there. So a few quick hammer-ons there. And then for the other part, that's really quick hammer-ons. And I mostly play this part kind of up-picking with my finger. You could pluck with your thumb. Or you could use a pick, but that's kind of going to ruin the song in some ways. Although I do play it with the pick sometimes, just for practice. And then the last time you come through, you go... You get that dissonant... And down to the A. When we play the A, we basically use our thumb and 2 fingers, and we go... And use your thumb to pick the E string for those 3 notes. E, G, G sharp. Now, in some cases Dan actually does a bit more of a triplet here with hammer-offs. But it depends how you want to do it. Watch the live videos, listen to different versions, different covers, and see how you want to play it. The next bit is more of these descending notes. Now, this is basically pentatonic scale, which is 5 notes, and you can actually say it that way. Go pentatonic scale, and hammer it off. Go. And again, I tend to up pluck them with my fingers. But you can do it whichever way you want. And give it a vibrato right there at the end. Well, now here. So now we're on to that part. And that is basically, it's kind of like an A minor chord. A minor. With your pinky thrown on here, which if you think about it is actually very similar to a D, and that's because that's the D that you're really on there. That's the 4 chord of the progression. So the way to do that is get these 3 fingers ready to be in this position here, which is these 2 notes that are off on the box in your blues scale, and this note here right below it, and go so. And then the little bass notes that kick in are C, C, D, and you'll need this finger here to do that. Then run up with these 2 fingers and grab this finger here, the high note, the G. Actually use all 4 of your fretting fingers to let more of those notes ring out. And how much you want to let it ring out depends on how you want to play the song. I tend to really reuse this finger for both the G and the upper notes up here, and not worry about ringing too much out. If you have too much of distortion and sustain and everything, then it can get a bit muddy, and sometimes you don't want them all to ring. Now when you're ready for the Hold Me, Love Me part, you're going to be coming off with the 1 chord, which is A. Down to E, which is the 5 chord in the progression. And you do it by walking down from G to F sharp, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then just an E major chord. Strum with your thumb is what I do. It's a little bit different than Dan does, but it works here because you hit the D, E, and then the D. D being right here with your pinky, although I'd like to bend it a bit, like hold me. Then grab that G, bend it up a bit, and then I like to kind of do a D sus2 here, which is really what you were playing in the intro part. It's like your D shape without this finger, like this. Love me. And come off the D to C. And now you want to do In Your Heart, which is really same thing you were kind of playing in the intro, same notes we just kind of followed down. You can do it with the open E, a pull off from D to C, and then A, or you could slide up and down, or you could bend, or you could just play it here. When the time comes for the solo, what you basically want to do is switch between A and G chords. And you can do that in different places. I'm not sure if it should be here. And when you kind of, if you're playing it just by yourself, if you look at some of the live videos, you'll see that what Dan does is, when he comes back to the A, wherever he is, he's just, does some bluesy stuff in the blues box, probably the one here at the 5th position. And, you only have a couple notes you can really fit in between the chords if you're doing the lead and the rhythm at the same time. But, you basically got to be quick on the spot with your inventions. So just, grab the notes like, or, B.B. King-ish, Albert Collins-ish, Stevie Ray Vaughan-ish. Just pick something bluesy and you can't go wrong. And that's pretty much the song. The only other extra tip I have is I sometimes use the edge of my index fingernail as if it was a pick, like this. And that gives it a little bit of a more bite when you're doing the solo versus when you come back here. And sometimes in the song it does go really quiet here. get that dynamic range going. Louder during the solo, quieter during the quiet verses, kind of biting during the more aggressive verses, but use that range. And that's it. Enjoy the song. It's not that difficult to play, but there is a feeling to it, a style. Take care.